everyone, I'm Courtney Smith alongside Katie Fitz, and welcome to Prime. Today's show is going to help you put together a summer reading list. Later on, we'll discuss some of our favorite summer reads, as well as some classic choices.
But first, who knows more about a great summer read than a book publisher? We have with us today Jennifer Canzoneri and Lindsay Marshall from BenBella Books. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks
So
for
first
having us.
of all, tell us a little bit about BenBella Books and the genre of books that it publishes.
Absolutely. We are a publishing house in Dallas, and we do intelligent nonfiction is what we like to specialize in, and that runs the gamut from biographies, business titles, health and nutrition, cookbooks, and we have an imprint that focuses on pop culture properties. So anything that is smart and nonfiction, we will take a look at.
And how long have you guys been around? How long has Publishing House been
We just celebrated our 10th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. Thank you. Although our first book came out in April of 2003, so it took about a year to get that book published. But
Well, good.
Well, who are some of the authors that you guys work with?
I think working with authors is our favorite part of the job, and so Colin Campbell is one of our premier authors, and he is the pioneer of the plant-based eating community. So his book is The China Study.
And you were saying beforehand that that's your bestseller?
It's our bestseller.
Okay.
Yes, it's sold.
And what is it about?
It is about a plant-based diet. So basically the dangers of eating animal protein and the health benefits of incorporating whole foods, plant-based diet.
Okay. We see a couple of controversial books here standing up. We've drawn attention to them. Can you tell us a little bit about both of those?
Absolutely. We've had a busy summer, as we were saying to you earlier. About 2 weeks ago, What Really Happened came out, and that is Rielle Hunter's memoir, who you may know as John Edwards' mistress. And that has done really well. It just hit the New York Times bestseller list this week at number 9. We were very excited to see that.
Excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's her, her take of what happened. And then sitting next to it is Presumed Guilty in Jose Baez's book, and he, as you may know, was the defense attorney for Casey Anthony in her trial last summer.
So how do you get in touch with
Get these
I
books?
mean, yeah.
Actually, I'm not part of acquisitions, but both authors look at a wide variety of publishing houses, and I think it's what can the publishing house bring to the table in terms of editorial and packaging and the timeline as well. Both of them had to come out very quickly. And so they just sort of look at everything a publishing house can offer and then choose accordingly. So we felt really lucky to get both of them. So
Yeah.
it kept us very busy the last few weeks. So
Yeah.
very exciting.
So what are some more of your summer releases? Did both of these, are they coming out?
Yes, actually, Presumed Guilty's publication date was this week. It was July 3rd, yes. And What Really Happened was June 26th. So they were as close together as they could be.
Absolutely. And then just in May, we had a biography of Christian Bale come out by his former publicist and assistant.
How come that's not on the table?
Definitely get that to you.
It's an interesting read, especially with Batman coming out, The
And you
Dark
said
Knight
it's
Rises.
His publicist that wrote it?
Former.
Former publicist, worked with him for 10 years.
Wow.
Some really interesting
So,
stories. in that
inside
book, so.
stories.
And what's that one
inside
called?
scoop. It's called Christian Bale, The Inside Story of the Darkest Batman.
Okay. I'll be looking
Wow.
for that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
It's a
Where
good
can we
read.
find your books, I guess? Amazon?
Anywhere books are sold.
Okay.
So, while not every Barnes & Noble may carry books, and that's just because of how the buy works, if you go in and request it, they can certainly order it.
Okay.
But on Amazon, all of our titles are on Amazon. Other vendors, bn.com, IndieBound. So anywhere books are sold.
Okay. Well, what
Direct through us as well. So BenBellaBooks.com, you can order directly as well.
Well, good. I'll be looking for Christian Bale's book. Can you tell us a little bit about the process, I guess, kind of from beginning to end as best you can to get a book published?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. We work with a lot of agents, and we've worked with them, a number of them, for many years. So they know really what our line looks like and what we're interested in getting, and they bring to us projects that either fit that line or they think will work well in expanding it. And occasionally we take blind submissions and proposals, but primarily we work with agents. And then once the book is acquired and the contract is determined, it goes straight into editorial. One thing that I think maybe people would be surprised to know is that it takes about a year to publish a book. So from beginning to end, from acquisition to publication, it's about a year, give or take. So it goes into editorial for a number of months, depending on how much editing it needs. And then it goes into production. the layout and design, and then it takes about a month to 6 weeks to actually print it, depending on the interior, if there are photos or if it's a color interior. And so then once it's printed, it goes into marketing. So, and then we take it once we have the final product, and we market to the best of our abilities.
Okay. So the world of publishing is, I'm sure, changing with technology and everything. How does that fit in?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I've been at BenBella for almost 7 years, and it's been neat to see the evolution of book publishing and book marketing, especially. We work in the marketing department from when I first started to now. I think the main thing in terms of book marketing is that it's just the transition to online marketing. When I first started, it was primarily traditional media. That's what our goal was, to get broadcast, print, coverage. But now, everything's moved online, and so we can really expand our opportunities to reach the right market. So I feel like it's helped us in terms of advancements really find the right readers and to find our markets.
Okay. What does an aspiring author need to know about the process of book marketing?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I would love to tell authors is that you should really start thinking about your book marketing as soon as you have an idea of a book you want to publish. And if you have the time and the interest to get online and to start a Twitter feed or to start a blog or to start a website, it's really invaluable that once you actually get a book publishing deal, and once your book actually comes out, you already have that foundation and that community to go to. You have supporters already in place because you've established relationships with them months or years in advance. So it's really not ever too early to start marketing your book, even if you don't have a book yet. So.
Publishers see that as a great asset, that you come to the table with a platform of potential readers and purchases of your book.
So in selling your book to the publisher, you kind of need to have an idea.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have a foundation.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the authors can use social media to kind of start out their process. How do you guys use it for marketing purposes?
We use it a lot to support our authors, so we're always tweeting if they have an interview out or if they have a new website just went live. But we also use it to connect with the media. It's a great way for us to build relationships with media members, see what they're talking about, what they're writing about, and see how our books can fit in.
Right. Yeah, one example is we did an anthology on Friday Night Lights, the television show Friday Night Lights. Yeah. And so I got on Twitter just one afternoon and spent hours just searching hashtags for the show and really connected with people who I would never have found through a Google search or through a media database, that they were fans of the show, were writing about the show, and they were articulate, and that they wanted to see our book and cover it. And that was completely through social media. So.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
How about ebooks? How has that changed the way you guys
work? Ebooks are fascinating. It's usually the first question that we get is how have ebooks changed? And the one thing is that they're really new. And so a lot of us aren't really quite sure what it's going to become. It's still in its early process. They've changed. I think they've really opened up opportunities for a lot of authors who maybe haven't found a publishing house to publish their titles. It's created opportunities for them. But and in terms of us, we've really gotten to do neat things with our ebooks, enhanced ebooks. So like for a cookbook, for example, you can include video in an ebook of them.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's the production of it is very complicated, but if we think that it will benefit the readers, especially if a cookbook author has a huge online community, and we think that their readers will really want to see those enhancements in an ebook, and they'll invest their money in those enhancements.
That would help me a lot.
Yeah, steps and videos.
Definitely. I could watch someone else do it, then maybe I could do it.
Yeah, like behind the scenes photos of them preparing the recipes and things like that. So it's neat for us. Some of the technology is still evolving, so I think some of our ideas have surpassed the technology, so we're going to do some catch up. But it's really cool to get those ideas and see how we can incorporate them into ebooks. So. And
how does that work versus? Is every book published in ebook, or like do certain people say I want my book to be an ebook, or how do you decide?
Yeah, most all of them are, and that's determined at the contract portion. So it's determined what rights we'll retain, and if we retain the ebook rights, we'll almost always put it into that format. But occasionally, for instance, we just did Samantha Moon, which it started off as a self-published ebook. This author sold
200,000 copies.
200,000 copies.
Wow.
Yeah,
Kind of a
on his
series.
own on Amazon, and he wanted to put it, bring it out in a published format, in physical format, and so he retained those rights to his ebooks, and we just have the rights to the physical book.
Okay.
But he's created this audience and these fans through these sales, these high sales of his ebooks. So
I feel like I've heard of that. What is that about?
it's a vampire,
Mystery.
a vampire mystery. Yeah. So.
I've not read it.
It does sound familiar.
They're very
Yes.
funny books.
Yeah,
Very funny.
yeah, and it's really interesting to see. He came to us with a platform already in place, so
Very helpful, as you
Right.
mentioned before.
Right.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
yeah.
So, do you have any advice for aspiring authors? What they should do, what their first step should be?
Yeah, sort of expanding on what I was saying earlier, the more work you do before you try to place your book, the better. And so one thing I see a lot is that authors will blindly send out a cover letter or a proposal to tons of different houses, which is as good as far as the numbers game goes. But you should really research the publishing houses you're reaching out to. It's really easy to say no if you haven't done your homework. So even if you have a great idea and a great topic and may have a great platform, if you haven't followed the steps that the publisher really lays out on their website or clearly is asking for in their submission process, it's just really easy to dismiss your idea. So as much work as you can do as possible. Research your market, research your competition, make sure you give them as much information as possible. If you can do a full manuscript, provide that's really helpful.
Okay.
So it's not easy, but
It sounds like a lot of work.
the more work you can do, I think that you'll find the right fit for you.
Okay. So basically, it should be straightforward enough for an author to go to your website
Absolutely.
and say, okay, this is what I need to do. As long as I do the work,
Right.
I have a better chance.
Yeah. In fact, we get a lot of phone calls, and they, I want to publish a book, and the first thing I ask is, have you visited our website? Because it lays out the steps to do that, and it says exactly who you should contact and what you should have prepared and what we are looking for. So, and I would assume a lot of publishers are the same way.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of your favorite books, I guess, that you guys have published?
It's a great question. Our cookbooks, I really love marketing cookbooks, and I love cookbooks. I was saying in your green room that I feel like cookbooks are, no matter how many you have, you still want another one when it comes out. And it's like a collection.
Yes.
So I really enjoy marketing our cookbooks, and I take them home and use them as well.
Good.
We have an exciting cookbook coming out in the fall. It's called Made with Love, and it's with Meals on Wheels Association of America.
Nice.
So
Oh,
it's
wow.
a celebrity cookbook. A lot of big name celebrities. Martha Stewart has a recipe. Paula Deen.
Barbara Bush.
I want her
yeah.
to be my grandma. I love her.
And it's kind of a
That's
neat angle. It's all about family recipes. So they're feel-good recipes that these people have stories attached to. So the celebrities and contributors have, you get a little glimpse into their family. So,
Excellent.
and we have our Smart Pop line, which I mentioned earlier, is a pop culture anthology line. And so popular TV shows and movies and book series, we do basically smart fan essays on those properties. So I mentioned Friday Night Lights, which was one of my favorites. We also did one on the Hunger Games called The Girl Who Was on Fire, and that one has been really
Very
popular and very good. So it really just enhances your experience of your favorite television show or movie or book series. So,
That sounds great.
right.
Well, if you want to learn more about BenBella Books and their upcoming releases, visit their website, benbellabooks.com. When we come back, we will reveal our favorite summer reads. Stay with us.